Guys, after subscribing to this channel, please make sure that you also press the bell icon so that no notification, no new video of mine, any educational video, is missed by anybody.
Now, with the help of diagram, describe the anatomy of perineum. Now, again, I would like to stress upon the fact that when I was taking the anatomy lectures, very important. See, I took anatomy lectures after a lot of requests by the students. That part of theory, I was expecting and assuming my students to be good at. But when there were constant requests regarding taking anatomy lectures, I could not turn a blind eye to it. And when I started taking the lectures, I went in such depth that even for these, specifically anatomy of perineum, which in itself is a 3D model, I took again help of these 3D graphic videos from the net, and I explained. I still remember the deep perineal pouch, the superficial perineal pouch, this urogenital triangle, anal triangle, with these 3D videos. So again, my request is to please go ahead and learn that again, because this kind of questions are coming again and again. Here, it's not just describe, see, with the help of diagram. This is the diagram that you will make. Obviously, this bony thing you can make in, very rough, but the boundaries have to be made properly. Like the urogenital triangle, its apex is formed by the pubic symphysis, and these two by the ischiopubic rami, and this is a imaginary line which is joining the two ischial tuberosities posteriorly. In the same way, the anal triangle, here you have the coccyx as the apex, and these two imaginary lines which are joining the ischial tuberosities, correct? And that makes the anterior and posterior urogenital and anal triangle. Not only this, this is also a very important part, because these two, the superficial and deep perineal pouches, this is the main concern of the examiners. They want to know this thing from you. Do not see, again I'm telling you, whenever you sit revising anatomy or theory for that matter, there are certain only couple of topics in which diagrams can be asked. And that you cannot practice until unless you know these diagrams, how to draw these diagrams. So for me, it's very essential that you make these diagrams yourself, no matter how rough they are, but they should be neatly labeled. There's no need to color. Okay, if you get time, you color them. Otherwise, please make them neat enough. And what you can do is that when you're drawing only, you just take a pencil in your hand, the color pencils, just choose the color and make the sketch with colors only directly, rather than making it with black and then coloring in between. No, rather than that, just choose the color pencils to make the diagram. And practice it so many times that you do not fumble during the exam, right? So here, if you can, kind of add this thing as well and make this diagram, there's hardly anything for you to write down, guys. Again, I'm telling you, this might not help you much, but this and this figure, these two figures are sufficient to describe the anatomy of perineum, guys. Okay, you can say that the perineum is richly supplied by which artery, guys? Quickly tell me. All of you who are there. Yes, excellent, Kaushik. Exactly. The pudendal artery, very, very richly supplied the perineum. In fact, it's one of the main arteries of perineum. I hope you've really attended my anatomy lectures very well, because I remember stressing upon that, and I'm stressing upon the internal iliac artery a lot, because a lot of questions are asked on internal iliac artery, its anatomy, its course, its importance, its surgical importance, everything. Then comes a question. We're very fond of asking such questions, and these are the questions, these are the reasons with which students are like, ma'am, all those questions that you've been asking in the exam, you must be including it then in your theory, this thing course. So we don't have to buy a separate answer bank. So the answer is a big no, because these kind of questions where they are stressing upon the case-based scenario, how do I include it in my theory notes? In theory, I'm teaching you theory, and it's not related to any specific case. Here is a specific case, right? Let's discuss. The management of a 30-year-old primary gamma reported to your OPD day 4 postpartum with a difficult home delivery and is having a complete perineal tear. So this is my self-made notes. Usually the old perineal tears at day 4, I will discourage anybody to go for a straight repair. The reason being, I think in my demo lectures where I have made, I think, vaginal hysterectomy workshop, I have also included a case of rectovaginal fistula which was operated in my own OT. And very specific about rectovaginal fistula is that it should not be repaired any day either it's repaired immediately or it is delayed for at least 3 months and then called. You know the reason why? Because a wait period is essential so that the margins are formed, the sutures they can stay. Otherwise, a lot of inflammation, lot of discharge, lot of oozing. You have the suture. Even if you take the sutures, it will not stay. Correct. So here you have to go in a very orderly manner. Third and fourth degree lacerations you have to repair in very stepwise fashion. Once I was taking, I think, the suture and needle class right before your practical exam. Remember, I spoke in depth about these third and fourth degree tears. So let me see how many of you attended and how many of you remember it. So if I ask you the anal mucosa, it is sutured by which suture? What will be your answer? Quickly, guys, quickly. You have to be very quick in answering. If you don't remember, it's no problem. I'll answer you. And you tell me. Kaushik says PDS. Okay. Anybody else for this answer? Anal mucosa, I'm asking. I'm not saying the internal anal sphincter or external anal sphincter. I'm not saying any one of these. I'm talking about the anal mucosa. It is stitched by which suture? Answer is Vicryl 20 because it's anal mucosa, and the more important thing is that the knots should not be inside because that's the place of maximum friction and rub. So the knots should be facing not in the anal canal. It should be inside your perineum, right? So it is Vicryl 20. What about the internal anal sphincter and external anal sphincter? What suture do you use preferably to stitch the internal and external? Here is where you will have PDS 30 will be the answer. So you can go ahead and tie it with a PDS preferably. You can also use Vicryl 20, but preferable will be PDS 30. All right. Would it be continuous sutures? Will they be interrupted sutures? The answer is that they will be interrupted sutures preferably, because whenever you are suturing a muscle, you do not go for a continuous suture. You go for an interrupted only. And internal anal sphincters are mostly muscles. So that's the answer. So here you go in stepwise fashion. Care is to be taken not to penetrate through the rectal mucosa. Anal sphincters then approximated. Okay, and I just spoke with you how they are, which sutures used to suture them. You can just quickly write down in these notes, and you can in the same way you can answer the examination as well. So that was the only question. Yeah, that was B part.